Hey everyone, in this video I'll be breaking down all the skill categories within the passive skill tree mod, passive skill tree. I'll explain how each works, their pros and cons, so sit back, relax, and let's dive in. Today I'll be explaining the alchemist branch, alright? So, the alchemist has a unique ability like all the other ranks, which is unlocking a mixed potion, okay? Now I'll show you what it is. Basically you get a 30% boost, or rather a 30% chance for your potion to level up. Got it? When I make it, as you can see now, I have Fire Resistance 5, okay? This obviously doesn't matter for fire resistance potions, but for strength potions it's quite useful, right? So this 30% improves the chances of our potion being stronger, and basically this first skill allows us to, for example, if we want to take a fire resistance with a regeneration, for example, right? If you get regeneration from creative mode or another potion, it won't have extra effects. But if I craft it myself, right? We could easily get regeneration 5, you know? With the alchemist skill maxed out, we'd use a crafting table to combine regeneration with, say, fire resistance for 15 minutes. You'd get a mixture, see? A mix that basically doubles your fire resistance potion, got it? It doubles both potions. Drink this and now I have both effects at once, see? I hate to say it, but this is totally broken, right? It's insane. We can only mix 2 potions, okay? So what other skills are there? Alright, over here on the right, we've got more amplification chance, see? Everything with this logo has amplification chance. I think there's a total of 100 to 200% amplification chance. As you can see, all this here is amplification, okay? So there's a chance your potion will level up. All of this here, we easily have about 300%. The alchemist itself gives us 40% more duration for the potions we craft, okay? That's important. Here we have a small evasion branch, something extra, okay? It leads to this small potion that gives us 10% more evasion if we have potion effects. Got it? This allows us to avoid damage, okay? We have a small chance to dodge damage. Then we have this other branch giving 10% more amplification chance, and what interests us, which is purity, okay? Purity is also fascinating. When crafting a potion, it guarantees a 100% chance of upgrading from level 1 to level 2, which is really cool, right? Here we have another extra branch, a bit more besides alchemist, which would be the healer, okay? We have self-treatment here also related to healing, but let's focus on potions. Sorry about that. Here we'd have mutation. After getting some evasion, we'd get +2 evasion for each effect we have. Remember, we can combine potions, duplicate them, etc. With 5 effects, you'd get +10 evasion. Seems small, but it's not. Then we have the secret ingredient, which is exactly the same as purity, alright? We have overdose, giving 15% more damage per effect. With 5 effects, that's 75% more damage. These 3 middle items add max health, attack speed, and critical hit, okay? Basically, these potions add those effects. 35% more critical if enemies affected by potion, 10% attack speed, 6% max health. Not bad. Then we have cruelty, which matters if the opponent is affected by a potion. This left branch is more for damage potions and such. Persistent toxin lets us poison a tool by combining melee weapon and harmful potion, and here we have it. I've applied instant damage 2 and poison 2, and the sword now has all these effects. Right off the bat, it gives us more armor and lets us add up to 2 gems to our crafted bows. When in the main hand, it boosts bow attique speed by 52%, letting us shoot way faster at full charge. It also gives extra health and allows 2 gems on helmets we've personally crafted. Plus it adds 3 armor, 2 more armor, 9 stealth, and a ton of evasion. So, how does this skill tree work? It's this one called Hunter. If we start upgrading, you'll see it gives 5% arrow retrieval. It means when you shoot an arrow, you get it back. As you can see, it gives 15% here, and up to 25% total arrow return chance. Remember, you can shoot arrows with effects, so be careful. The left side focuses more on damage, while the right side here concentrates on evasion. As I said, this area is all about evasion, up to will to survive, which gives 10% more evasion if you're above 50% health. We have this extra tool, Bloodthirsty, which regenerates 1 health point for each projectile we hit. Also, if we go down the attack path, we can reach Bloodthirsty Blade, giving 0.5 health per hit, which could be interesting. Grab an extra point here and a 1.5 there. In the end, we've got some cool stuff giving us an extra 1.5 of health. To get the helmet's extra rune, you'd use this item here, the Hatter. This way we'd score an extra gem. Here's the retrieval chance again. This one gives a 10% chance of getting your arrow back, while this one gives 5%. This basically adds more capacity to quivers. I didn't pick it because it's not that great, but it lets you store more arrows if you want. Remember, quiver items can hold up to 250 arrows, which is pretty sweet for a class like the Hatter. So that's the whole quiver section. Then there's fitted armor, giving 0.25 armor per evasion point. Over here we have, oh, I didn't mention this, but the Hatter adds a ton of mob loot. These bones here, the initial bone actually gives you up to 100% mob loot, meaning a 15% chance to get the same loot from a mob again. And here it gives you a bit more, totaling 30%. The treasure hunter gives you a 15% chance to get double extra loot from a mob. We also have fitted armor, which I've shown you, and sniper that gives 5% more damage per block between you and the enemy. So the further away, the more damage you'll do. Here's the damage section I've presented. Here we have max health, attack speed, and critical damage that all runes have, plus 25% projectile damage, which is basically what I've mentioned. Here's the decorative bow, the extra gem for the bow we craft, and here are some extra features that are less relevant to the hunter tool. That's all for now. Hope you enjoyed it. It looks really promising. First off, I can assure you that the Enchanter allows us to get better enchantments. In survival mode, I can enchant for just 2 levels, as you can see, right? I can enchant sharpness 7. What do you think? Is sharpness 7 good enough for you? With knockback 5, unbreaking 4, super pinch 4 sound good? Or how about unbreaking 4 with protection 7? This is what the Enchanter enables. So let's see how it works. First, click on the Enchanter section to reduce enchanting XP cost by 30%. We get 5, 5, 5, and 10. Giving a 25% chance for an extra enchantment. So this branch is a bit random, distributing everything among max health, right? In survival mode, it's split between an extra health bar and a bit of damage, okay? When you equip armor, it gives you more health, that sort of thing, got it? It has some random features and others related to enchantments, you see. One random feature is this branch here generating 0.1 health per block, alright? We have a huge blocking branch. Enchanters excel at blocking attacks, which auto-blocks attacks from players, mobs, whatever when they hit you. But for this, we need a shield in the left hand, understand? As you can see, we have tons of blocks here and even more over there, okay? So one of the first things we find is a plus 10 blocking bonus if we have the enchanted shield in our hand. We have the protection rune here, which is the first interesting rune. It gives armor enchantments a 40% chance of having more enchantments when enchanting armor. Here's the experience branch. We start with blocking, then get plus 2 XP per minute. Here we get max health, a ton of it. This is a whole health bar. And here we get an extra 0.1 XP per minute. Here's plus 6 max health, again a huge amount, and plus 0. 1 XP. This is probably one of the most interesting branches, right? Here's plus 50% XP per mob kill, plus 100% XP per ore, plus 1. 5 XP per minute, okay? Not bad at all. Then we have the part about blocking if the shield is enchanted, just like with the runic barrier. We have hidden knowledge, right? It gives us 100% amplification, meaning when we enchant, the enchantment will be of a higher level. Here, as we can see, they reduce the level requirement by 5%, okay? For enchanting requirements, here we have the typical 5% increase in critical damage, right? Plus 5% attack speed, the usual, and 1 max health, basically. These 9 points aren't entirely worth it, but they help balance things a bit. And here we have the damage-related area I mentioned, okay? It gives us 5% extra damage if you're holding an enchanted tool, got it? Up to Excalibur, which adds 5% damage per enchantment level on our tool. It may seem small, but an extra 5% damage per enchantment level is brutal, right? The Runic Blade gives us 20% more damage if our tool has enchantments. Finally, we have the Destruction Rune, which deals with amplification. This whole Destruction Rune section is another thing we'd be interested in, okay? All of this here is what we'd need to enchant at much higher levels. So here we have some extra features related to fire damage and burned opponents. Basically, it gives a chance to burn targets and deal more damage to burned ones. That's it, nothing more, alright? Alright, so this rune right off the bat adds a full health bar, gives us damage, and a ton of block. Got it? It's all related to food points, okay? As you know, we have up to 10 points, or rather 10 drumsticks. Each drumstick is 2 points, so we have up to 20 points of hunger, right? Food. And well, how does this branch work? This branch starts with the cook section, which gives us 20% more saturation when we craft our own food, And we have this unique ability called Ambrosia Fruit, okay? Basically, it gives us +0. 1 health regen per minute from food we've crafted. And in total, it gives us +0. 5 health, got it, per minute, which is quite interesting. Then we have this left branch with crafted food healing, which gives us 0.1 health regeneration each time we eat, and this applies throughout the branch, right? We have up to 0.7, and here we get +10 block if we have at least 15 hunger points. That's 15 drumsticks, or 7.5 full drumsticks, okay? That's 15 points, which is insane. 10 block is crazy, right? Plus, if you add this, which gives tons of block, I think about 8 block points on this line here, it's just ridiculous. On the other hand, we have vegetarianism, okay? It restores 0.3 health when we eat something we've crafted, which is an insane amount of health, right? Then the interesting stuff begins. We have overweight over here, okay? For each food point we have, we'll get 1 blocking point. Remember, at max, we have 20 points, okay? Keep that in mind. 1 blocking point is 20 when fully fed. It's huge. Food gives 50% more saturation. Think of it as an invisible extra food bar, so you'll need to eat much less, got it? And you'll regenerate much faster, it says. Fat body adds 2% damage per hunger point, up to 40% more. Not bad. Add 5% 8 times, that's 40% more damage. 40% plus 40% equals 80% more damage. Here we have the typical critical hit, okay? Attack speed and max health, alright? And here in this branch section, they're adding 2% more damage, reaching up to 20% if we have 15 hunger points, got it? This is the really interesting part, okay? I don't want to overhype the food branch though. On the left, we have some interesting features like regenerating 0.1 health per block, alright? Here, I'm gonna see it regenerates 1 health per block with 15 plus hunger points, making us nearly invincible with our blocks in this regen. We might even want to consider picking this element here. And over here we have something similar that could be quite useful. This one regenerates 0.3 health per block with a shield enchantment, okay? So these left and right branches could be really beneficial for us. As for the rest, getting more loot when fishing isn't really relevant to our food discussion. Here we have the Berserk section, which increases damage based on our health. We have more blocking options here if we want to max out the blocking branch, okay? With the points we have. It might be worth considering, alright? But sorry, the rest isn't really related to food either. So, that's all there is to say. I hope you enjoyed this video about the food section, okay? We'll probably have plenty of points left over. Remember, we can always use these astral gateways, alright? To move and go to the evasion section and such, it could be interesting. So that's it. I'll be talking about the Blacksmith branch. So, this branch, basically, as you can see right now, I'm without armor. I'm going full armor. I'm going full armor. Sorry. Okay. And this branch focuses mainly on items crafted by the player, such as armor, shields, or swords that deal more damage or offer more protection. So if I craft now, for example, this armor here, some leggings, a helmet, boots, and a chest plate, we'll see that when I equip them, first of all, I'll have an extra health bar, and on top of that, I'll have all these skills like max health, armor toughness, more armor, etc. Alright, let's get started. This skill, by the way, requires you to play with the shield in your left hand, because if not, it's not going to be worth using it, okay? Alright, let's start with Blacksmith, which tells us crafted equipment will have 25% more durability. Here it says each crafted shield will add 2 more armor points. With this last skill, you can reach up to 10 total armor. This means if you craft this and equip a shield in your left hand at the start, you'll have 8 armor. It's insane. Practically maxing out armor right from the beginning. Now, the right section deals with damage, where basically each tool you craft will deal 1 more attack damage. Here we get 25% extra damage if we have a shield in hand, plus extra damage for crafted tools, until we reach the light alloy, which will give us a 25% attack speed boost, which is quite impressive. I'm not sure how much, but now if I take a sword, let's say a diamond sword that I have to craft myself, we can see all these attributes here with the crafted tool, and we're looking at the attack speed, which is, let's see if it's visible. There it is. The attack speed is this. It might seem slow to you, but the armor negates a lot of damage. It practically removes 20 damage points, so we have the light alloy, and the Colossus section, which adds 0.1 attack for each point of armor. And here it gives us 5% more damage if we have a shield in hand. As I mentioned, all of this is damage. We have the soldier section that gives us 5 more armor and more blocking. This branch is quite interesting. These points are quite useful. The fisherman doesn't interest us, but the rest is pretty good. And then we have a bit of blade related stuff here. It's worth 5% critical chance, giving us a little boost in that area. Plus 10 block, 5% more armor, and 5% extra melee damage. Military training is quite interesting, and so is everything we need to do to get it. So it could be quite worthwhile. On the other hand, we have black steel, which adds 1 point of armor softness, which is basically the knockback you receive when hit. It means you'll have much less knockback, and here we get a bit of tool durability. We have the Living Fortress, which will give us 10% more armor if we have at least 50 armor points, and 20% more armor if we have 100. If we have 100 armor, we can add more armor here. So by default, armor boom, extra armor. Just like that, now I have armor without wearing any outfit. Max armor. Thanks to these skills here, we could add more armor if we wanted. In this branch, Explorer gives 10% attack speed and 10% speed, not entirely useful. Finally, we have the Handyman with a couple of decent upgrades, like plus 5 base max health, which is huge. This makes you a tank. Plus 5 block, and we have durability here. We can add a gem to crafted boots. Handyman gives 5% durability, 5% restoration, 5% durability, 5% attack speed, 5% armor softness, and plus 5 armor, which is really good. So that's the Blacksmith guide. As I said, protection, tank, and more damage. Basically, this class doesn't have many interesting features, despite being one of the highest rated classes overall. What this class mainly offers is a 15% increase in block breaking speed. In general, this class adds more speed when breaking objects, higher chance of getting gems, and more damage when gems are equipped, or more gem enhancement, etc. That's the class focus. So we start with having a higher chance of getting an extra honorary gem with a 25% probability up to the excavation skill we have here in the right section. A 10% boost to each gem's effect when placed in armor, up to the safety helmet, which adds 2 armor per gem in our helmet, and then we get some effect power from each gem in the armor, up to the Cullinan, which adds 30% more effect to all armor gems, plus an extra gem slot in the chest plate. Then we have this armor tree leading to Stoneheart, adding 5 armor per chest plate gem, which is huge. This adds tons of armor. On another note, we get 5% mining speed when breaking blocks with a pickaxe, and here we get 30% more. Plus we have 1 more gem space in the socket section. Then we have 10% more damage per gem in our tool, and this whole tree here adds a total of 40% plus 10%, so 50% more damage. We also have this branch here with 15% more damage if we have a gem in our tool, but here's where it gets interesting. It tells us gems added to our tools give 10% more effect. This applies to any effect, not just damage. We also have the Furastar adding 30% effect with a gem socket in our tool. Then we have a bit more armor and the Explorer section, which adds attack speed and such. That can be interesting. We have this whole branch of 10% more power effect, meaning each gem we use becomes more effective. But this is mainly the mining branch. It's not a branch that stands out much. We can get an extra ring slot here in the Aristocrat, which we can upgrade through the mining network. But as you can see, it's not a big deal. It adds a bit of evasion and armor. Okay, if anyone's curious, let's grab a pickaxe. The speed on mining blocks now is this. I'm going much faster, as you can see. I also have tons of armor without equipping anything, so it adds quite a bit. That's all for now. Hope this helped. See you in future videos. Bye bye.